Ways to World of Sports, ahoy, welcome along here, Super Saturday, ready for a few big games, starting off with the Rugby Championship. Rugby Union is back, I for one am particularly excited. Calix Mendoza, ahoy there mate. The Rugby Championships for 2024 will be underway today with a big doubleheader. Springboks travelling to Australia, where they take on the Wallabies of course, and across the ditch, coming up later today, the All Blacks versus Argentina. Dan Jam, ahoy mate, well done. Up and about, bright and early, I'm assuming. Sky Finks, ahoy mate. DJ Shack, ahoy buddy. A very special around the grounds at Suncorp Stadium. Ready for this one. Now let's very quickly run through some predictions as this game gets ready for kickoff. As you can see by my same game multi, Cheslin Colby and Kurtley Adensay, anytime try scorers, as well as Khaleesi. So you might look at that and see I'm not really giving the Wallabies too much of a chance here. It's a new era for Australian rugby, but Springboks rugby, they're the world champions, they're the number one team in the world, and they should have too much strength for the Wallabies. Springboks to win 13 plus, absolutely. DJ Shack, that segues nicely into my other point. Recent results between the two teams. When Australia win, it's kept close. When the Springboks win, it's a little bit of a demolition. They usually cover the line. So, keeping an eye on the margin will be interesting to see the prospects in this one. If the Springboks race out to an early lead, I expect that they will carry on with it. For Australia, for the Wallabies, it's important in that case that they score first and they just they take this game from the front. That's just based on recent results between the two teams. As I said, whenever South Africa win, it's always by a large margin. When Australia win, it's by a teensy little wincy margin. But I expect South Africa will be up for this. Now, there's another red hot tip that I've got for you. Let's see if you're in agreement. Chat room. The Wallabies have improved notably at scrum time under Joe Schmidt. But today, this will be the true litmus test of where their set piece is against a rampaging Springboks forward pack. I'm going to throw it out there. There's a mighty tasty $8.50 that the Springboks are paying for a penalty try anytime. Now, I can imagine there will be a scenario, especially late in the game, where the Springboks have the Wallabies pinned down on a 10-metre scrum, and the referee will say enough is enough and blow the penalty try. I've seen it happen a lot to the Wallabies. This is a big step up at set piece from Wales. From Wales to the Springboks, with a little sprinkle of Georgia in between, I believe. They played as well. And I'm just wondering if they're going to cope. So if you want to have a juicy little bet, penalty try, Springboks anytime, $8.50. That was paying last time I looked. So I'd be jumping on that one. No, Khaleesi's one of the Springbok fetchers. Calix Mendoza. You've got Colby and Arensay are the two wingers. Khaleesi's of one of the big units up front, wearing the number 6 jersey. Look for him and his partner in crime to pilfer a lot of Wallaby ball. And you've got Kwagga Smith on the bench. Malcolm Marx is in there as well. So South Africa are going to run absolutely rampant at ruck time. I wouldn't be surprised if possession and turnovers end up being about 70% in favour of the Springboks here. I really wouldn't. They've got a lot of threats all around the ruck. All Blacks Argentina coming up after this one as well. Don't forget, on the Wasted World of Sports, bringing you all the Rugby Championship action. Time for the anthems here. DJ Shax's head says South Africa, heart with Australia. There you go. Well, we can only hope for a good game. Nice turnout, by the way. Get a load of that. All the people that is death riding rugby union in this country. Have a look at that, a jam-packed Suncorp Stadium. Not bad at all for a Saturday afternoon. So look for South Africa to dominate up front, but ultimately land the killer blows out wide. Cheslin Colby and Kurt Lee Arensay, the dynamic duo, the little twins on each wing. I would be very, very interested in taking them 2+ try score. Either one of them as well. Either one of them could go 2+ tries. Yes, indeed. It's hard to see anything but eventually a demolition job here in favour of the Springboks. Calix Mendoza asks, when was New Zealand's last game? Couple of weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago. South Africa, oh God, I shouldn't laugh because he's just very passionate about his country. And he's passionately belting out the national anthem there. I'll tell you what too, this better be a good game because I was having a great old sleep. I got up early this morning, I decided to have a nap in between then and this game starting. And the dream was just getting very interesting as well, but then my alarm went off. I had just been called into a meeting. I had just been called into a meeting with Donald Trump and Eminem. And then my alarm went off. Now I'm going to have no goddamn idea what they wanted to talk to me about. So this better be a good game and worth waking up for. That's going to drive me crazy now, wondering what could they possibly want to speak to me about. I've got to say, right from the outset, a lot more passion thrown into the national anthem by the Springboks. They look like they are a team up for this one. Not to say that the Wallabies won't be up for this, just based on the anthem, but it was a very, very clear difference in the way the delivery of the anthems played out. Just an incredible amount of passion there from the Springboks. As the teams now trade ends. Some new faces for both teams. Same game multi. Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Adensay, and Sia Khaleesi. Springboks in a huddle. This will be interesting. Sasha Feinberg. Mazulu. Don't even know how to pronounce his name. This is going to be very interesting. I will no doubt end up at some point calling him Sasha Baron Cohen. Pete Evans is the referee, too, by the way, by the looks of it. And, of course, the other thing to bring up, a few law variations are being trialled here for the Rugby Championship. So we'll have to see how those play out. It will be the Springboks with the kickoff. Wallabies with first use of the ball. 5 seconds. And the Rugby Championship will be officially underway for season 2024. Let's get this thing started. And the Springboks go deep with the restart. Well, it's not a restart, is it? It's the initial kickoff. And the Wallabies secure it. Nice little lift there. And they come down with high ball. Mookie, ahoy there, mate. Wallabies secure possession just outside their own 22. Look for the box kick. Attempted charge down by Big Estebeth. The kick falls on halfway, and the Springboks come down with it. They go down the short side. Peter Steph Dutoy gets the offload back in field. And he's there at the base of the ruck playing scrum half and releasing that ball out. Backwards, Des Dutoy again. Got his hands on the ball a lot in the early goings, and that's a loose pass out the back. And that was all a little bit scrappy from the Springboks early, playing down the short side there. But we will come back for a scrum, the first scrum of the game. A cheeky little knock on there from the Wallabies. And this is what we were talking about in the pre-game. This is the true litmus test for Australia in terms of their set piece, in terms of their scrum. How much have they actually improved? We're about to find out. First scrum of the match. Ten metres on the Wallaby side of halfway. And it's a big push on from the Springboks. This brings the penalty try right into play. And they run with the advantage now. That was a huge statement in the first scrum. Crossfield kick now looking for the outside centre. Wallabies lose it forward. It's there for the Springboks. Grubber kick through. It's at the back. And the Wallabies dive on the loose ball. Will come back for the penalty. A long advantage being played there. The crossfield kick for Jesse Creel. He just got outleapt. Signalling their intent early though, South Africa looking good. It's going to be a long old afternoon, I think, for the Wallies. And that was a long advantage played, and all the way back we go. No thought of the 3 points here. They're going to plug this into touch. They want the line out. I'd like them to have a scrum. After that first scrum, I am doubling down on my call of a potential penalty try. I feel like there's going to be a penalty try here today. Springboks go to Estebeth in the line-out. Set up the rolling maul. This is a huge push. Now they release it. Dialende brings it back towards midfield. Wallabies defence holding firm, driving the Springboks back, but that's a good run from low. In front of the post here, inside the 22, Springboks lined up to the left, but they go short, and they weren't expecting it there. And it's a penalty to the Wallabies. A mistake there from the Springboks. Estebeth was not expecting that ball. He was anticipating that to go out the back. And then suddenly, whoop! It's mine, is it? That's a let-off and a half, that one. Wallabies with the touch finder up on halfway. They can get themselves out of here. Out of their own end. Fessler throws to the line-out. They go to the front. Release the ball immediately to midfield, where the kick is in over the top. Finds space, but it sits up nicely at the back. And Willie LaRue pounds it downfield. And the foursome backs commences. A mark inside the 22. And South Africa can just reset here. Reload. And get this ball out of here. Up towards halfway. Huge high ball in midfield. And it's taken by Reinach. Offloads to Jason Dixon, the knee crumbler. Ahoy, mate. Lined up to the right here. The Springboks have got numbers out the wazoo. Estebeth puts the fend on. And he's brought down from behind. Quick ruck ball, though. And hands in the ruck illegally. Offsides at ruck time from the Wallabies. And they will surely consider taking the 3 points here now, the Springboks. This is a gift right out in front. It's about to be 3 points to nil in favour of the Springboks. Oh, they had numbers there, the Springboks. They'll be disappointed to only walk away with 3 points. But scoreboard pressure. It's got to start somewhere. This is actually not a total gimme. But at rugby union standards, he should be putting this one over. Oh, it's a shocker. That's the worst kick I've seen in my life. And it's off to the left and it remains 0-0. Some pressure there early on Sasha Baron-Cohen. And it remains 0-0. Verti FN, ahoy mate. Wow, that's another let-off for the Wallabies. This could very, very easily have been 10-0 already. South Africa are leaving some points out there in the opening stages. Wallabies, restarters from the 22. Willie LaRue off to low, bumps his way up to halfway. Penalty to the Springboks again. Ill discipline here from the Wallabies at ruck time. They are letting themselves down big time. It's too far out. It's too far out for a shot at 3. South Africa put it into the corner. 7 minutes 50 gone, and it's been all one-way traffic. Springboks dominating territory, dominating possession, but it remains 0-0. That's crucial for the Wallabies. Throw to the line out. Estebeth at the front. They set up the rolling maul. They're rampaging forward here. Penalty advantage. Wallabies in from the side everywhere. Attacking the legs. All kinds of illegalities in there from the Wallabies at maul time. Reinach brings it out. It's been intercepted. But we have a penalty. Call a scrum. Oh, put the scrum down. They're close enough. I reckon they'll put it into the corner. Go for the line out. I'd be tempted to call scrum here. No, plug it into the corner. I just want my penalty try. I want my penalty try. Paying $8.50, damn it. Oh, hey, they could still get a penalty try off rolling maul. 10 out from the line. Springboks go to the back. And then a nice little set piece. They throw it back in field to Estebeth. And the rolling maul is set again. If it collapses here, it will surely be a penalty try. But it doesn't matter because over goes Sia Khaleesi. The rolling maul is effective, and it's Khaleesi in the corner, and we've got to tick off the multi nice and early. The first tick on the same game multi, Sia Khaleesi off the rolling maul. Nice little set piece from the Springboks. They threw to the back. They used Estebeth at the front, lifting him as a decoy. The ball was then basketball passed back out to Estebeth. They set up the maul, and Khaleesi gets a one-on-one with the Wallabies outside backs. And I'm sorry, but that's just no contest. Once they got Khaleesi one-on-one, it was all over. 5 points to 0, and South Africa, a little bit of reward for their early domination. From out wide, he's Hadi Saita. And this one's gone over. 7 points to 0. The Springboks, full value for this lead. They have been dominant. I've got to say, Dan Jam, I am very, very confident my shout of the penalty try of Springboks anytime. The way that this match has started, it could well and truly be on as the Wallabies go short with the restart. And that's a big clean out. Was it legal? Yes, says referee Pete Evans. Aggressive counter-rucking there from the Wallabies. The Springboks with the box kick clearance. Tapped back. South Africa still in possession. This has been a dominant display so far. Taken on the full at the back for the Wallabies. Kick and chase. The ball lands on halfway. South Africa come down with it. LaRue now with the kick over the top. Sits up for the Wallabies inside their 22. And a clearance will go into touch up towards halfway. And everyone can have a little bit of a rest. 7-0, 10 minutes gone. Springboks on top. Whoops. A tick off the multi nice and early. You always like that. And those are the hardest ones to get as well. They're your forwards. So as this game continues to open up, as the match wears on and continues to open up, look for Dealende, not Dealende, Aronsay and Colby to get very heavily involved. I'm liking where things are at the moment. A little bit of friendly fire there from the Springboks. I think it's Kobus Reineck might be down. Who's the scrum half on the bench for the Springboks? He doesn't look well, Kobus. Looks like he's going to press on the little trooper. But Nambi with the throw into the line out. Springboks ball on halfway. They go to the front. Cool, calm, collected and reliable. Estebeth takes the ball. They're not going to set up the maul here. They release the ball. Reineck with the box kick in midfield. Tapped back by the Springboks. They've tapped back way too far though. Pressure at the back, but what an offload from Sacha Baron Cohen. And now they put it through the hands, and there's space down the sideline for Pieter-Steph du Toit. But manning up big time on defense there, the Wallabies, with Valentini putting a big hit in and putting him over the sideline. Cheslin Colby and Montezuma's penalty to the Wallabies at line-out time. Springboks putting the arm across. You can't do that. Well, 13 minutes gone. South Africa have left some points out there. We were talking about how it's important for the Wallabies to keep it close. The Wallabies tend to win the close games. South Africa, when they win, it's in very, very dominant fashion, breaking all kinds of lines. To the back of the line out, Wallabies have it now in midfield. Valentini sets up the play. Taking a couple of steps is Jake Gordon. Now puts the box kick in. And it's an absolutely horrendous kick. And it's an easy mark inside the 22 for Cheslin Colby. Just a nothing play that. The Wallabies finally get their hands on the ball. Finally, a chance to mount a little bit of possession and pressure. And they go and do that. Colby with the clearance. And he finds touch 10 metres short of the halfway line. And it'll be a Wallabies throw into the line out, but that was a let-off. A nothing play. Short line out, stolen by the Springboks. Dominating the set piece. And Lowe sets it up in midfield. The clearing kick goes straight down the middle. Pressure on the kick chase. Wallabies have it at the back. Ngunu. Tackled in midfield. 40 out from their own line here, the Wallabies. Through the hands down the short side, and now a crunching tackle from Dealende. Wallabies do well to maintain possession, but they're going backwards here. Huge defense from the Springboks. And they've got to consider just getting the ball out of here, the Wallabies, and they do just that. Gordon with the box kick clearance. And it's taken nice and safe and sound at the back. And Molazulu brings it away. Back to Willie LaRue, the veteran. Puts the kick in. Contestable again. It sits up for Kellaway. Kellaway's got a little bit of space. Puts the kick through. And Springboks secure it at the back. There's now nobody at home for the Wallabies, is there? Yes, there is. Dropping back nicely. Lolesio returns the kick. Players have to retreat here. And LaRue tries to put a little bit of spin on that ball as he kicks it back downfield. And the Wallabies clear. This time finds touch. Will they go quick? The Springboks? No, they don't. That's a nice, huge clearance. Springboks will have the line-out throw. $16 minutes, 20 gone. 7 points to nil. The Springboks, they've been largely dominant. And again, to the middle of the line-out. Easy possession there for Pieter-Steph du Toit. Upfield they march. Monazulu off the side of the boot. It's not a very good kick. It's taken down by the Wallabies there. Icky Towels in possession. In midfield. Down the short side. Oh, that's a huge hit. Some of the hits here from the Springboks. Just rocking the Wallabies backwards. It's impressive to see. Lolesio now releases the ball again. Pasami goes to ground. Keeping it tight, close to the ruck. South Africa not really committing numbers. Wallabies chopped down again. Dugunu driven backwards. And look at that South African defensive line. Perfectly intact. Once again, not committing any numbers to the ruck, as the Wallabies have sent 4 players in there. Box kick now from Gordon. There was a sense of inevitability about that. It's loose out the back, but South Africa dive on it. Wallabies get hands on it. Play on, says the referee. Wallabies try and get in and spoil. But South Africa have possession. Box kick from Reineck. It's going to fall nowhere near halfway. Dungunu's up for it. Spills it backwards. Gordon fires it across into midfield. They've got some numbers here, the Wallabies, if they put it through the hands, but they don't. A dummy and a straighten, taking it into contact on his own. And now they've lost the ball forward under the defensive pressure. And the Springboks can counter. They do go on a run here. Straight through the gap goes Monozulu. He's got support everywhere. Numbers out the wazoo for the Springboks. Willie LaRue gets the white line fever and tries to go on his own though. There was a 42 on one overlap and Willie LaRue's tried to do it all on his own. They've blown it there, the Springboks, but it's still on. If they can spread it to the left. It's another crash ball though. Back it comes now for Cheslin Colby dancing around in midfield. Delende tries to burst through. Oh, they left it out there, the Springboks. Khaleesi now offloads to Reineck. Steph Dutoy fires it up, looking for Aronsay. Aronsay dives on the loose ball, but it's gone forward. They've absolutely butchered it there, the Springboks. Somehow they don't come away with a try. The Wallabies' defence scrambles. Willie LaRue would love to have his time over. I am not even joking. There was 5 on 1. 5 on 1. He could have passed it to anybody. Any one of those 5 support runners receive that ball. They score under the post. But Willie LaRue goes on his own. He's tackled. And they've butchered the try. Dead set. It was still on out to the left. But they just never got the ball out there. That is absolutely incredible. I have never seen a try so badly butchered. Springboks. They are leaving some points out there. And if you're the Wallabies, that's got to be... this has all got to be giving them belief and motivation, you would think. Big scrum, though. We have seen a dominant early set piece from the Springboks. This is Wallabies feed. They crouch. They bind. They set, and it's a huge shove from the Springboks. Oh, they are destroying the Wallabies at set piece time. The clearing kick only finds about 10 metres. That scrum was retreating backwards at a rate of knots. South Africa, another attacking line-out throw. They go to the front. Estebeth brings it down again. They set up the rolling maul. It goes to ground. Australia might have turned this one over. The Wallabies get in there and pilfer. Now they release it. They've got numbers to the left. Do they dare run it from inside their 22? No, they don't. They put the clearing kick down. It's popped up by Monozulu into Willie LaRue's arms. And now the Springboks just say, Let's get it out of our own end. A low, flat kick, grubbers into touch. Cat Lego, ahoy there. And stay hunky, ahoy mate. Colby, next try scorer. We've already got the tough one. We've got Khaleesi. Sia Khaleesi, first try scorer. That was the hard one, I reckon. Faisler with the throw to the line out. Goes to the back. Stolen again from the Springboks. No, it's loose on the ground. Penalty, knock-on advantage to the Wallabies. Setting up the ruck in midfield. It opens up the middle for Gordon. He offloads. It's loose out the back. Valentini keeps it alive. Pasami dummies and goes through. Half a gap. It shuts down quickly. No numbers here for the Wallabies, but look at all the Springbok jerseys in defence. Valentini. Back it goes for the clearing kick. Colby moves forward and takes it. That would be knock-on advantage over. And South Africa back on the attack inside Wallabies half. Willie LaRue now in midfield out to Del Ende. Cut out pass to Jesse Creel. Creel straightens, runs over the top of Dangunu. But it was enough to bring him down. Now Ox at the back to LaRue, who's up in the line again. Quick ruck ball here, and space out to the right for the Springboks. Down the blind side they go. Del Ende keeps it alive, pops it out for Cheslin Colby. Knocked on by the Wallabies. Stolen by Del Ende. They're 10 out from the line here. Penalty advantage. Reineck slips, still manages to clear the ball. It's on here to the left for the Springboks. Flat pass for Steph du Toit, and Peter Steph du Toit will slide across and score the try. They had numbers to burn, and this time they don't balls it up. Andrew Kellaway was caught a long way infield. And South Africa now lead 12 points to 0. They're doing it through their forwards at the moment. Khaleesi, the number 6, scored the first try. Steph du Toit, the number 5, this time. Do we dare say that maybe 6-5-4? Does Esterbeth get the next try? A beautiful pass there from, I believe it was Montezulu, the young Springbok fly half. Steph du Toit bobbled the ball. You thought for all money he was going to drop it. 12 points to 0. This has just been a dominant display of rugby from the Springboks. Conversion successful. And South Africa leading 14 points to 0. Drizzy Goat, ahoy mate. Oh, leaving the field. One of the Wallabies. I didn't quite catch who that was, but that's not good news. Steph du Toit, the try scorer. Somebody's lost their mouth guard. And South Africa set up the ruck inside their 22. Leading 14-0. Reineck with the box kick. Looking for touch. Finding it 10 metres short of the halfway line. Wallabies. They've got it all to do now. And I can tell you that it's Dangunu who is leaving the field. Wallabies go to the front. And they release the ball quickly to midfield. Valentini spills it forward. South Africa can counter now. Knock-on advantage. Steph du Toit tries to run straight through the front gate. Springboks ball on halfway. They've just been dominating territory and possession. Back to Manzulu. The clearing kick. Pressure on this kick chase, but doing well to bring that down. The Wallabies. 30 metres out. Now they've spilt the ball. The Ox gets a toe to it. It's going to sit up just outside the goal line. Valentini dives on it. Under immense pressure here now, the Wallabies. They get back in numbers. And they secure the loose ball. But they are under the pump. They are going backwards. Almost every single play. The Wallabies are finding a way to lose ground. 5 metres out from their own line. Well and truly under the pump. Getting ever closer to the sideline as well. Not a good position for a clearing kick. Pressure from Estebeth on Gordon. And the kick will only find about 10 metres. And the Springboks are going to have another attacking line-out throw. This is just absolutely incredible. Domination in its purest form right here. Five visits to the opposition 22 for the Springboks. 0 for the Wallabies is a pretty telling tale. Springboks looking to call a reserve on here for Benambi. Hands the reins over to Malcolm Marx. .27.5 gone. Springboks go to the front. Estebeth again secure with the ball. They set up the rolling maul. Estebeth's got it. He'll be brought to ground. That was well defended from the Wallabies. Springboks release it. Dutoy still on the 22. Marx sets it up in midfield. Reinick goes quick. Dixon out to the left. Now they shift back right. Chip in over the top. Looking for Willie LaRue. It sits up in the end goal. Willie LaRue gets hands on it. Has he got it down? He is pleading with the official to have a look at it. He's pleading with the official to take a closer look. The Wallabies were just trying to shadow this over the dead ball line. Willie LaRue is trying to claim it. He is surely telling Porkies. Well, he's not telling Porkies. He has grounded it. He's just grounded it on the dead ball line. In fairness, he wasn't to know. But in fairness, he did actually get the ball down, Willie LaRue. But we come back for a 22-metre restart here for the Wallabies. .28.5 minutes gone. South Africa are up by 2 converted tries. The restart goes up over halfway. But winding up and a big charge back into them. Low, bumps off one. Front foot ball now for the Springboks. Nomazulu feeds it through the back line. Straight through the front door goes Steph Dutoy again for some extra metres. Ox in midfield. The cutout pass now onto the chest of Aronsay. Aronsay straightens. Goes straight up the middle, Aronsay. He's 5 metres out. Spills the ball. Was it knocked on? Well, I thought Aronsay was through there. Wallabies look to counter-ruck. It's Aronsay again at the back. Straight up the middle now goes Monazulu. Dixon pops it up and they go to ground the Springboks. Numbers to the right, but they go straight through the front gate. It's Ox. 5 out from the line. Another crash ball. Estebeth. Monazulu holds the pass up to Willie LaRue. And LaRue with the knock on, but it will be penalty advantage. And they might lose someone here, the Wallabies. Referee Pete Evans has had enough. Is he going to reach to the pocket? We've got a tackle off the ball, potentially. I think the Wallabies are going to be a man down. Things are going awry very, very quickly here for the Wallabies. See, this is what they should do in the NRL, I reckon. The on-field referee calls for a replay, and the replay gets presented. It's an early tackle off the ball from Lelesio. Clear as day. Plain as day. It's a try-scoring position. It's a professional foul. Lelesio's going to be sitting down for 10. Oh, just a penalty. Just a penalty, says the referee. But yeah, what they do in the rugby... Hello? Yeah, what they do in the rugby is they call for the replay to go on the big screen, and the referee himself looks at it on the big screen and makes the call. There's none of the bunker. They don't send it up to the bunker. But the actual on-field referee, of course, makes the call. For the benefit of those who are unfamiliar or not as familiar with the rugby union systems. They're still looking at stuff here. We've already established that there's going to be a penalty to the Springboks. They're looking at something else. They've found some more potential foul play here. How much potential foul play was involved in that little sequence? Oh, the lifting tackle. Yes, I need to see this. The crocodile roll from Kellaway. He's lifted him and turned him and pile-driven him. And Andrew Kellaway could be off. That could be red card territory. Oh, this could be red card. That is bad. Unintentional. Absolutely no doubt. No players go out there to purposely try and endanger their opposition. That could be a red. It's a yellow. Yellow card and on report. So, there was foul play everywhere here for the Wallabies. The penalty will be for the early tackle, but Andrew Kellaway, he's having to sit down for 10 minutes. I thought that Lelesio could have gone as well. Yeah, that's a bad tackle. That is a really bad tackle. I don't think there was much in it, say the Australian commentators on the telly. It was a pretty shocking tackle. It was pretty bad. Anyway, penalty here for the Springboks. Keep an eye out for that penalty try now. They will plug this into the corner, and they will look to set up a rolling maul. The penalty tries on, I'm telling you. The James, ahoy mate. I said it at the top of the stream. Get your money on penalty try anytime. Here we go. Springboks with the line-out throw. They go to the middle. They do that set-piece play, the trick play again. And Khaleesi comes away with it. Offloads out wide. They're centimetres short. Diving over the ruck there illegally. This will be penalty advantage. But the Wallabies hold on. Well, it's a knock on. Scrum for the Springboks. They don't even get the penalty for the dive over. Here we go. The penalty tries on. Oh, Springboks have actually knocked that on. The Springboks have actually knocked that on first. This should be an Australia scrum. Look at old love in the background. She's getting into it. She's excited. And Australia do get the feed. Under the pump, though, still 5 metres out from their own line. And South Africa have just walked over the top of the Wallabies at scrum time. It'll be interesting to see. This is the first scrum with Malcolm Marx out there. Australia get it in and out as quickly as possible. South Africa get in there to spoil. And they do. It's a penalty to the Springboks. They are just dominating every facet of set piece. It is night and day, but this is clearly number 1 in the world versus number 9 in the world. And they call a scrum. The Springboks, finally. 30 minutes into the match, and they're finally looking to take advantage of what's been clear scrum domination. Absolutely, James. Fantastic crowd for a Saturday afternoon at Suncorp in a supposedly dying sport. Scrum down, Springboks feed. They have just monstered the Wallabies at scrum time, and look at this shove again. Penalty advantage. They'll scrum down again for sure. Come on. $8.50 at the top of the stream we got for penalty try. South Africa, anytime. Scrum again, boys. Yes, they do. They call the scrum because the referee is going to lose patience very, very quickly. We are on. We are on for this penalty try. The Springboks are just monstering the Wallabies at scrum time. Six minutes to go till the halftime break. The scrum sets. It's another huge shove from the Springboks. Controlling it at the back. The Wallabies wheel it illegally. It's a penalty advantage. South Africa have it at the back. Oh, where was my penalty try, ref? Cheslin Colby's got it at the back, or is that Adonsay? Adonsay goes straight through. Kurt Lee Adonsay sneaks up the middle. And you know what? We might not have got the penalty try, but I will happily take that second tick off the three-leg multi. 1 to go. Cheslin Colby to go in the second half. Penalty advantage to the Springboks from the scrum. They have just monstered the Wallabies at set piece. And somehow, I can't quite figure out how, but somehow this just opened up for Adonsay. Calling for an obstruction there, the Wallabies. They wanted an obstruction call there, the Wallabies. Kurt Lee Adonsay, he took full advantage of that half a gap. Conversion successful. And South Africa, approaching half-time, lead this game very, very comfortably. There did indeed appear to be an obstruction there on the Wallabies' defence. It 100% looked like it. But anyway, it was part of my multi, so I'll take it. As the Wallabies go short with the restart, but it wasn't high enough. It wasn't contestable. Penalty to the Wallabies, though. They do get the ball back. Well, there you go. They knew what they were doing. The Springboks caught holding on. Take the 3. Get yourselves on the board, boys. Lelesio puts it into the corner. And it will be Wallabies throw to the line out, about 10 out from the try line. Faisler throws to the front. Well, he was supposed to throw to the front. It's gone right over the back. And it falls for the Wallabies, but that's a huge hit now from Marx. And the Wallabies dive in. They bore in over the ruck illegally. South Africa. Every time Australia get down this end of the field, there is a huge hit and an almost immediate turnover of possession. They just can't string any play together, the Wallabies. Remember what I said? I said, oh, they've failed to find touch, the Springboks. So here's a let-off for the Wallabies. But again, look at this defence. Keeping them on the halfway line, now driving backwards. Big hits here from the Springboks. 2 minutes till the halftime break. Offsides here, surely. No penalty. Yes, there's the penalty advantage now. Marx is in to attempt to steal. And we'll come back. Referee was playing a late advantage. And we'll come back for this one. South Africa offside clearly at that last ruck. One minute to go till the halftime break. South Africa domination. We talked about it in the pre-game. I said I would not at all be surprised if we see the Springboks dominate possession, something in the 70% region. So I'll be very interested to see what the actual stats are at the halftime break. Wallabies go to the front of the line out. It was not straight, but under the new laws, an uncontested throw can be skewed. Possession 64% to 36% in favour of the Springboks. It's thereabouts. Wallabies go on the attack though, looking to steal some percentage points before the break. Attacking the short side with Alatoa. Still 10 metres out from the line. This is the most phases that they've strung together inside the Springboks 22. The entire match. Ten out from the line. Gordon, dummies. Wallabies have it in midfield. Pick and go. Time's up on the clock. They've got to keep it through the hands here. The Wallabies, 8 phases now, but the Springboks continue to repel them. The ball spills out the back from the Wallabies, and it's a knock-on, and that will be the halftime break. All that work, and they yield no results. Domination from the Springboks here in Brisbane. Blake, ahoy mate. 21 points to nil at the halftime break. It has been all Springboks. Danjam, Wallabies haven't been allowed to do anything. It's incredible. I've not seen such a disparity between teams in the Rugby Championship before. I mean, maybe when Argentina very first came into the competition. But this has just been a phenomenal performance that the Springboks are putting on. I'm still feeling pretty good about my multi. I'm still feeling pretty good. Well, I'm feeling very good about my multi. But I'm still feeling pretty good about my penalty try prediction as well. The way that first half played out, that penalty try in the second half is well and truly on. Well and truly. Because the referee has clearly already lost patience with the Wallabies. He has got nothing left. He has not a care in the world left for the Wallabies. That penalty try is happening. All right. Half-time here. Domination from the Springboks. We'll have a quick break and regroup. We'll be back for the second half here on the Waste to Water Sports right after this. Thanks for being with us. All Blacks, Argentina coming up next, and then later tonight, Dragons, Bulldogs in what should be potentially, well, I can't really say potentially game of the round after last night, can I? Last night was the most amazing bloody thing to have been involved in. I'm still trying to process what we saw. Unbelievable scenes. All right, Waste to Water Sports half-time. Be right back. Naja Kat Ali says 31 more points in the second half. Well, as long as some of those points are from Cheslin Colby, we'll be all good. All right, Waste to Water Sports, second half. Back after this quick break.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. They're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and take pass less from the kickoff to the final whistle blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.
Waste of World of Sports halftime here. The Springboks, as we predicted, putting on an absolute clinic here of rugby union set piece play. I mean, that's what it's been. It's been domination at set piece. We talked about it at the top of the stream. This was the true test for the Wallabies at set piece. They kind of had it all their own way against Wales in the warm-up. So, sorry, I shouldn't laugh at what I just saw on the TV. They had it all their own way against Wales. This was always going to be a true test of where they're really at, and where they're really at is a long way off the pace. That's for sure. It's a huge step up to the world champions. I mean, that goes without saying. And they haven't been able to go with it at all. The Wallabies, they've just... Never have I seen a contest between South Africa and the Wallabies with such a clear divide in terms of the quality of both sides. South Africa are the #1 team in the world for a reason, and we're seeing that reason. Australia... probably, I mean, they're looking every bit of their 9th place. I think they're in 9th in the world standings at the moment. They might even be a little bit lower. especially after today. Domination from the Springboks here in Brisbane. And it's the possession stats that I'm most interested in, because I kind of just said it, not really being 100% serious, I suppose. There was a possibility, but it was certainly not a prediction that I saw being even close to accurate. It was just one of those things I threw out there, looking at the Springboks team sheet and just the threats at ruck time all across the park and on the bench. And we still haven't seen Kwagga Smith. There's another breakdown threat. I just thought that they would have the ability to control possession. So I sort of just made an off-the-hip remark about I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Springboks something like 70-30% in the possession stakes. Well, that last 10-minute spell by the Wallabies did even it up a little bit. Prior to that last 10 minutes, though, South Africa did have 64% advantage in the possession, which was actually ridiculously close to my off-the-hip remark. It has evened up a little bit, though, as we approached half-time. It's fallen back down under the 60% mark. 59% possession in favour of the Springboks, which is still dominant by any stretch of the imagination. Dan Jam, is this the worst period of Australian rugby? I can't remember any period of such sustained failure. Yes, it is. And it started really with Raylene Castle was the beginning of the decline. Now, Raylene Castle obviously is not in control of the player's ability, the game plans, all the on-field stuff. Completely understand that. But as the leader of the administration, she sort of set the tone for just a lot of bad things that distract from the on-field stuff. Gives Rugby Australia a negative look in the public eye, in the eyes of the world. And it was sort of the beginning of the decline. And it was questionable that she even got the job. I mean, you wonder how it happens that and I don't mean this to be as harsh as it probably sounds, but she was a proven failure. I'm pretty sure it was the Bulldogs. I think it was the Bulldogs and the NRL that she was the administrator for, or whatever her role was. And she was a proven failure in the position. So she just goes into another high-profile position, and she's now become a proven failure at Rugby Australia. And it just makes you wonder how these people, they get these positions on their resume, and that seems to be all that is noticed about them. It's not looked at as to whether it was successful or not. They just see these statuses on the resume and go, oh, we'll hire that person, because they do seem to, these people, proven failures or not, do seem to just walk from one high-profile gig straight into another, don't they? All that behind-the-scenes stuff. But, yeah, that was sort of the beginning of the downfall of Australian rugby. Too much player power as well, I understand, has been a little bit of an issue. There's a really good watch, actually. I'm not sure if it would be available or where it would be available in the UK, Dan Jam, but I watched a really good documentary about Eddie Jones. Like, they started filming the Rugby World Cup march from the Wallabies when Eddie Jones came back in and took over. And it was just so interesting, the behind-the-scenes footage. And Eddie Jones, basically, at one of the training sessions, to one of the other assistant coaches, basically came straight out and said, do you reckon these lads have got the right attitude to win? Second half is underway, and the Wallabies come up with an error immediately. Their first touch of the ball, and it's knocked on, and it will be a scrum down for the Springboks, and we know what happens at scrum time. But anyway, long story short, Dan Jam, absolutely, this is 100%. We are part of the worst era of Australian rugby. And it looks like quite a lot of the crowd's left as well. They're either still out the back, lined up for beers and hot dogs, or they've just decided enough is enough, and they've taken off. Oh, I know it's not the biggest issue, DJ Shaq. I just wanted to highlight it because it was just such a random, off-the-cuff remark that I made that I never expected to really play out. So I was just highlighting it because it actually did. That's the only reason I was harping on about that. It's not very often I'm right, so, you know, I've got to reinforce it. Whenever, on the rare occasion that I am, I'm going to ram that point home. I remember commenting during the Wales tests that the Wallabies looked decent at scrum time. I did also mention at the top of this stream that the litmus test would be this match today, and boy, have they copped a wake-up call. The wake-up call of all wake-up calls. At scrum time, the Springboks have just been dominant. Whoa, that's a nice big shiner for one of the Wallabies. His eyes actually closed. Time off there for a little injury stoppage. Back on and scrum down. And you know what this is going to lead to? Will this be the first penalty of the second half? Because the Springboks at scrum time. That's better from the Wallabies. Well, the initial contact was, but now the Springboks get the second shove on. The scrum goes down. Penalty advantage to the Springboks. Oh, this is just domination at set piece. It's no contest. The Springboks scrum. What can you do to combat that? Springboks fine touch just inside Wallaby territory. They'll have the line out throw. About 10 metres, Wallaby side of halfway. It's been a very slow-paced start to the second half. Springboks go out the back, and it's for Cheslin Colby, and Colby's wrapped up in midfield. That was something a little bit different. Staden on this near side. Marx sets it up. Here's the Ox running cross-field. Wallabies try to rip the ball away. Now they counter ruck, driving over the top. The Wallabies, Springboks now get there in numbers and defend the ruck line. Estebeth takes on Paisami. Paisami holds his ground. Penalty to the Springboks, though. Failure to release. It's a gift 3 points if they want it. And Willie LaRue, I think, is having that exact conversation. Is like, second half has just begun. Let's just slow it down. Take the 3 points. Let's just keep control of this contest. No, they're putting it into the corner. Line out throw, 10 metres out. I would have taken the 3 there, in all honesty. They are looking for the killer blow, though, the Springboks. They're not interested in my conservative little approach to the game. They're going for the knockout punch. Stolen by the Wallabies. The line-out throw. And finally, something goes right at set piece for Australia. The box kick clearance. Bounces back in field, but then finds the line. That'll be over halfway, surely. A nice touch finder from Gordon, who's also bandaged up. The Wallabies are in the wars out there. A couple of players bandaged up. They've lost a lot of ground here, the Springboks. 5 minutes gone in the second half. They throw to the middle. Australia get up and compete, but Khaleesi now to Reineck. Momazulu in midfield. Penalty to the Wallabies. The counter-ruck was good. And just some promising signs here to start the second half. South Africa just slow to come back out of the sheds. The kick to touch hits the 22. And the Wallabies with an early opportunity here to mount some attack. In good field position. Can they come up with something? They go to the middle of the line out. Loto brings it down. Now it's a loose pass out the back, but it sits up for Lalesio. Lalesio's brought down. They're retreating. Again, it's just execution from the Wallabies, letting them down. Loto again takes a good carry. Gordon to Ikitau in midfield. Back to the 22. Valentini out the back to Lalesio. Dummies. Tries to go through on his own. It's loose on the ground. Alatoa pops it up for Valentini. Hands in the ruck there from Estebeth. Penalty advantage. It's loose out the back again, and we will come back for the penalty. And this is a scrappy start to the second half of the Springboks. The Wallabies have successfully dragged them down to their level, it seems. Lalesio puts it into the corner. It's a 5-metre line out. This is a big line out throw. Nasser. He'll be feeling the pressure here. Wallabies go out the back, way out the back, and it sits up for the Springboks at the back. They don't get it right. And now here is a big threat as it opens up for the Springbok speedsters. Reineck supporting back on the inside. Pops it off the deck. South Africa run away with this one now. The Wallabies, that was their chance. Set piece play now for the Springboks. They've created the overlap, and down the right-hand edge they go. Here's Estebeth. Decides to just run straight over the top of the Wallabies defenders himself, and he's bumped into touch. Rather than straightening and setting his winger alight, Estebeth decided he'll try and run straight over the top of them himself. And the Wallabies will get the line-out throw, but they have lost about 70 metres back upfield. Sam Vousden, ahoy mate, rough for the Aussies this one. Oh, the first half was absolutely the single most dominant performance I've ever seen on a rugby field, quite honestly. That opening 40 minutes from the Springboks explained everything you need to possibly know about why they're the world champions and number one in the world. And now they spread it wide to Jesse Creel, who steps back in field. Offloads to Reineck. Reineck gets it back to Low. Low to Mogazulu in midfield, who kicks over the top. The Wallabies get in each other's way and make a complete tit of it. Oh, the mark has been given. The Springboks can't believe it. The referee has given the mark to Ikitau. Oh, Tom Wright it was back there. They got in each other's way, Lolesio and Wright. The mark was called, but he's dropped the ball. They get away with murder there, the Wallabies. The clearing kick is not that good anyway. It's not much chop. And South Africa will have the line-out throw. I'm sure they would have preferred the scrum 5 metres out in front of the posts. But they'll have to settle for a line-out throw on the 22-metre line. We just need Cheslin Colby for our same-game multi. Marx throws to the front. Estebeth down with it. Khaleesi runs across field. Links up with Adonsay. Adonsay into contact. Still on the 22. Estebeth involved again. Oh, he's a workhorse, the big fella. Here's Ox with a settler. Out the back now to Monazulu. Delende, nowhere to go. Wrapped up by the Wallabies defence. Counter ruck is good. It's loose out the back. Reineck throws it to Valentini with the intercept. Valentini puts boot to ball. It's a foot race. And I'm sorry, but the Springboks are always going to win that foot race because it was Willie LaRue versus Nick Frost. It was no contest. Where were the Wallabies' backs to chase that one up? Valentini with the intercept put the kick through, and it was Nick Frost, the only one chasing through. South Africa back in possession. The clearing kick will just go outside the 22. Territory advantage well and truly in favour of the Wallabies there off that little piece of play. Oh, James Slipper's clutching at his testicles. And Grant Williams is coming onto the field for the Springboks as well. The replacements are starting to roll out in this contest. Surely, Cheslin Colby scores. There's 30 minutes remaining. It's been a disaster of a second half so far for the Springboks. After they were immense in the first 40. One of the best halves of controlling rugby I think I've ever seen. And the second half has been quite disgraceful. Quite the opposite. In pretty much every single facet. Can we get Cheslin Colby across the line? "51 minutes gone in this contest. All Blacks versus Argentina coming up. Wallabies go to the front, release the ball immediately. Lolesio in midfield to Valentini. Valentini goes to ground. Gordon releases this out. They stay on the short side. Lolesio, cut out pass. Valentini on the crash ball. They're 10 metres out here, the Wallabies. Penalty advantage. Alatoa sets up the ruck. 5 phases, bringing it back towards the posts. Lolesio again to Ikitau. Ikitau gets the arms free, but Tom Wright is then crushed in the tackle from Aronsay. Gordon runs across field. Will come back for the penalty. Australia just starting to get a little bit of rhythm now. Might sound ridiculous, but there's plenty of time left, and South Africa have completely dropped off here in this second half. Very nice of that bloke in the crowd to dress up for the occasion. Five-metre line-out throw. Wallabies go to the front. They secure the ball, set up the rolling maul. The Springboks hold firm, though. Wallabies going nowhere with this maul. They need to get it out of there, and they do. Gordon pops the pass up, and the Wallabies with the mistake. Well, that's what I get for having any sort of faith in them whatsoever. A mistake on the first phase. The Springboks defence just too good. James, I am never, ever, again, never saying never, ever again after last night. I was caught out big time last night. Clint Gutherson dives over for surely the match-winning try. Next minute, well, 3 minutes later, we all know what happened. The Springboks rolling on the troops now, the replacements. The big boys are off, and more big boys are going on. The Wallabies, they've had their chances. They haven't taken advantage of any of them. None of them whatsoever. South Africa, maybe they're just happy with the performance they put in that first 40 minutes. They've gone off the boil a little bit here in the second half. Who are you talking about, James? Old mate with the Speedos? Oh, dreadlocks. I didn't see him. Injury stoppage here, by the way. Lots of expats here in Brisbane. Lots of support there in the stands for the Springboks. Estebeth comes off the field. What a performance he's had. For 53 minutes, he's just gone non-stop. He tried a little too hard sometimes, Estebeth. Tried to do it all on his own when he should have given, but still, what a phenomenal player. Scrum down, South Africa, rumble forward again at scrum time. Penalty. They are just destroying the Wallabies at the scrum. What a wake-up call this is. Dominating Wales at scrum time is one thing, but what a step up it is to the world champions. Springboks is, busted open. Alatoa is busted open. That was obviously an aggressive scrum. Not only did they... What? Cheslin Colby's been subbed off. No. You're lying. My screen hasn't updated yet. Spin a shark, ahoy mate. Line out throw on halfway. Wallabies come down with it. He's been very quiet tonight, Cheslin Colby. So it wouldn't surprise me if they gave somebody else a crack. I mean, that's bad news for my multi, as the Wallabies now have a 4-on-2 overlap. They take advantage of this one, racing away down the sideline inside the 22. They set up quick phase play. Release the ball out to the right. Pasami goes to ground. They've lost some ground on the 22. Inside ball from Iki Tau, slightly forward. Play on, says the referee. The Springboks defence resets. Missed their opportunity here, the Wallabies. Right, tries to step through. Feeds the pass back for Gordon to Valentini. Valentini inside the 22. They're bunched up here, the Wallabies. It's loose out the back. Knocked on by the Springboks, I suspect. And that is indeed the call. But the bad news for the Wallabies is a knock on means scrum down. And we have seen what's been happening to the Wallaby scrum. They've been getting dismantled. The Springboks are just walking over the top of them at will. So this is actually a horrible result for the Wallabies. Scrum down. The Wallabies just need to get this in and out as quick as possible. Khaleesi's off for the day as well. See ya, Khaleesi. Well, at least he did his job and scored a try for me. Did you go for Manly in that one, James? Manly back on the attack as well. Inside the 20 they go, in front of the post on the 5th and last. Cherry Evans pops it up to Jake Trbojevic, back to Tommy. Numbers to the left here for Manly. Cherry Evans steps through, and Cherry Evans will score. GCE with the try. Manly extend their lead. And the Wallabies now have it. Kellaway back on the field, of course, after his spell in the bin. 22 out from the Springboks line. Looking for some points. The Springboks have gone to sleep a little bit here in the second half. Currently sitting on a bonus point. And I dare say, looking to keep the Wallabies on donuts. Tizano. Penalty to the Springboks. They get in, they counter-ruck, they attack the ball. They pilfer. Again, they repel the Wallabies inside their own 22. Yeah, 100%, James. This is exactly where the Springboks were in the first half. The Wallabies are spending a lot of time in this opening 20 minutes of the second in pretty much the exact same field position as the substitutes roll on here for the Wallabies. Tate McDermott's on. Tate McDermott's on, and Jeremy Williams, I believe that was also running out. Penalty to the Springboks. Take the 3. They've got to consider taking the 3 at some point. Just push themselves out beyond that 3 converted tries. Not that I think for 1 second the Wallabies are capable of 3 converted tries. Given how much they're struggling to even get 1, I can't imagine that they're going to end up with 3. But still, the Springboks have won just 3 tests versus the Wallabies in Brisbane. 1956, 1971 and 2013. Well, guess what? We can now add 2024 to that list as they go to the back. The back of the line-out, that is. Inside the Wallabies 22. Penalty advantage being played. In front of the post here, 5 out from the line. Marx on the crash ball. Adonsay is lurking out here on the left-hand edge. Can they get the ball out there? Firing and across to Aronsay. Has he pulled off a miracle play? It was a two-man cutout pass to Aronsay on the wing. He has surely not scored this. We will come back for a penalty. Okay, no try. We come back for a penalty. And it's final warning time for the Wallabies. They are on their last warning from the referee. He's had enough. AFBOCC, ahoy mates. Madison Levi will be chasing Alex Cedric, but never catching up for all of eternity. Does anyone know what that means? Scrum down for the Springboks, 5 meters out from the line, and this well and truly brings the anytime penalty try into play. We are on here. Top of the stream. For those who weren't here, I predicted and I placed a cheeky little bet on Springboks, paying $8.50 anytime try, penalty try. Here we go. 5 meter scrum. The Springboks have been dominant at scrum time. This time the Wallabies hold firm though. Of course they do. Cheeky buggers. At the worst possible time, they need troops out to the right. Springboks don't release it though. They keep it close. They're all bunched up here, South Africa. Oh, well, as easy as you like. A simple wrap around the back of the ruck. They kept it in tight by the posts. And Kwagga Smith dives across. They're dancing in the stands. South Africa go up by 26-0. Kick to come. Just a simple loop around the back of the ruck. Kwagga Smith with the try. That was easy. Way too easy. $26-0 with the kick to come. Yes, indeed, AFBOCC. This is in Brisbane. I thought so, James, because I didn't see anything pop up on my screen about him being off. I took your word for it. Because the only reason you would have to purposely lie to me about it was to make me feel like my multi was over. Take the piss. But I was still like, every other substitute's up on my screen except for that one. See, you've built up too much trust with me is what's happened. So I believed you, even though my screen said that you're a liar. Anyway, 28-0 here. Springboks dominating. Looks like Manly have gone in again. Manly have gone in for another try in the NRL. And now straight up the middle goes Jesse Creel. Where's the support? There it is from Aronsay. And Aronsay will score in the corner. And this is what we talked about as well at the top of the stream. Aronsay or Cheslin Colby, 2+ try scorer. 33-0. Australia, the Wallabies, they are copping an absolute wake-up call here. They thought everything was rosy. They thought everything was on track after their series win against Wales. Well, the world champions are a fair step up than Wales. No offence to the Welsh. But this is a big step up. And this is a walkover here in Brisbane. 33-0 kick to come. All right, so the same game multi is still on. We got correct. The, oh, wait a minute. The referee is saying... Don't know what he was saying. I thought the referee had his hand up saying, don't take the kick just yet, mate. Missed conversion from Monozulu. And he's also hurt himself in the process. Fabulous work there from Jesse Creel. 33 points to nil, the Springboks. 65 minutes gone. This has been an absolute demolition job. Box kick clearance. Yeah, his name is... Well, I have been, up until that point, I've been calling him Sasha Baron Cohen. Now they've got numbers to the left again. It's 3-on-2. The cutout pass to Adensay. Adensay looking for a hat trick. He's a little tank. Brian To'o style is Adensay. Now they're lined up to the right. The crossfield kick. It's going to hit the chest of Colby. No, it bounces into touch. Oh, the try was on there for Cheslin Colby. But the ball just bounces away. Yeah, so the Springboks fly half. Sasha Feinberg Monozulu. I'll tell you the spelling. And this is why I've been calling him Sasha Baron Cohen. Because Lord only knows how to pronounce this in all honesty. And I don't mean that I obviously don't mean that in any sort of offensive way. I just have no idea how to pronounce it. Mngomezulu. Now, I'm sort of suspecting maybe... I don't know. I've been calling him Momazulu, presuming or assuming that the NG is silent. That's how I've been attacking it. But I've also just been calling him Sasha Baron Cohen because it's easier, even though that's clearly not his name. Anyway, South Africa back in possession, 66.5 minutes gone. If there are any Springboks out there in the chat room that can please help me with the pronunciation of your fly half's name so that I stop making a complete tit out of myself, I would very much appreciate that as well. Do feel free to please chime in the chat room and help me out there with the pronunciation of his name. Because I'm not purposely trying to be disrespectful by getting it so horribly wrong. South Africa back on the attack inside Wallabies territory. 22 out from the line again. 5 phases through. They stay on that short side. Inside ball to Creel. Creel goes to ground. Still 22 out. Drop goal. Just to add insult to injury. They've taken a shot at Droppy. It's off to the right. Well, that is just insulting at this point. And it's Cheslin Colby as well. Go for the try, you goof. I need you in my multi. Don't drop back and take drop goals at 33 points up. Gomazulu. Danjam, you'd go with Gomazulu. Yeah. So, yeah, fair enough. So a silent MG. I mean, a silent MN. MNGOMEZULU. I've gone the silent NG. Dan Jam is suggesting maybe it's a silent MN. I have no idea, so that's probably pretty fair. Head contact here, potential foul play. Moronic douchebaggery, ahoy mate. This is going to be a penalty to the Wallabies. Malcolm Marx, straight shoulder contact to the face of Valentini. And, yeah, South Africa will be spending the next 10 minutes with a man in the bin. Yes, indeed. Yellow card confirmed. Malcolm Marx is having a sit down. Wallabies. Still inside their own half. Inside ball, it almost opens up. But the Springboks defence manages to shut down the gap. Still inside their own half. McDermott going nowhere. Penalty. That will help them up the field. Although a tap and go from Tate McDermott. They go quickly into Springbok territory. Not a lot of meters made, but it's offsides again, and another penalty advantage incoming. Straight up the middle now goes Nasser, and they spill the ball, the Wallabies. Will come back for the penalty, though. The Springboks offside from that ruck. Oh, how good. By the way, how good is biltong? I love biltong. Penalty to the Wallabies. And they put it into touch about 10 out from the Springboks line. They go to the front. Ball is secured by Harry Wilson. They set up the rolling maul, the Wallabies, but it's going straight towards the sideline. And it collapses now just inside the field of play. It's an absolute hot mess, though. And into touch. Into touch. And that was just a shambles. This will be a Springboks line-out throw. They have defended that rolling maul with ease. Manly are absolutely destroying the Raiders in the rugby league too, by the way. Springboks go quick to the front of the line out. Another little trick play. They've got lots of variety at line out time, the Springboks. Williams with the box kick. Just outside the 22. Not a lot of distance. 9 minutes to go. Can Cheslin Colby get a try? Can he score a try for us? That would be nice. Wallabies in possession. 22 out from the line. Can they break the donut? Tate McDermott trying to play quickly. It's a penalty. Take the 3. It's right out in front. It's a yellow card. Oh, the Springboks are down to 13. It's another yellow card for a ruck infringement. And surely the Wallabies can come up with a try here. 15 on 13 they are now. I mean, if the Wallabies can't score a try now, 2 yellow cards against the Springboks, then I just don't even know. They're building up a crew in the naughty corner, the Springboks. Oh, and the Wallabies throw it over the back of the line out. It falls for them, though, in the end. Lucky. Knocked on by the Springboks. Now it's a loose carry by the Wallabies, but we'll come back for the original knock on. This is unbelievable. Honestly, if the Wallabies do not score now, if they don't get some points on the board, 15 on 13, then I have no hope for them for the rest of this competition. 2 yellow cards. 15 on 13. They've surely got to score. Two yellow cards now for the Springboks. That's insane. Scrum down. Surely the Wallabies scrum can hold its own here as well. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a man advantage at scrum time is what I'm gathering for the Wallabies. So surely their scrum. Come on, Cheslin Colby, though. We still need Cheslin Colby, anytime try scorer. 6 minutes to go. Scrum down. Wallabies with a big advantage here at scrum time. Oh, but the Springboks still get the shove on. Wallabies retain possession. Now they lose it. Knock on. Springbok scrum. You're joking me. You are kidding me. The Wallabies can't even hold onto the ball to put pressure on 15 on 13. What a shambles. What an absolute utter shambles. The Wallabies. Disgraceful performance. The Springboks. Way too good. Just too good in every single facet of the game. It's been no contest. Five minutes to go. 33 points to nil. Well, this is exactly what we talked about. Michelle, ahoy there. As Manly, Luke Brooks breaks through and Brooksy goes in again. Manly are going to rack up 50 here against the hapless, useless Raiders. The wooden spoon-worthy Raiders. 44 points to 12. Manly. As the Wallabies come away with the ball. Oh, there was an injury stoppage. Valentini. Half a metre out here for the Wallabies. Pick and go. 15 on 13 at the moment, but they're playing it in tight. I don't understand that. The Wallabies have a two-man advantage with the sin bin. He's diving over from the ruck, driven backwards. You've got a two-man advantage, so they're keeping it close to the ruck. Now they finally release the ball out. And scoring in the corner is Hunter Pasami. At long last, 75 minutes, and the Wallabies have finally, 15 on 13, cracked the try line. They did everything in their power to not score it, but they do finally get there, and they've broken the donut. I just can't believe a two-man advantage, and it took them, 5 phases to finally decide, let's spread the ball more than one out from the ruck. And look what happened. They scored a bloody try. Tate McDermott with the conversion from the sideline. Moves in, puts it on target, puts it over. 33 points to 7. 3 minutes to go. And it's been an absolute demolition job here from the Springboks. Now we need Cheslin Colby for a Justin Olam moment. This is the Rugby Championships, Michelle. And whatever trophy that South Africa and Australia play for. The kick goes dead from the restart. And we'll come all the way back to halfway for Wallabies ball. Yeah, it's South Africa and Australia's version of the Bledisloe Cup. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. I just don't know what it's called. And it's also part of the Rugby Championship, which is obviously contested between South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and Argentina. So it's a little mini battle between these two in amongst the bigger battle between the 4 teams. I think I explained that nicely. 46 points to 12. Come on, Manly. There's still 15 minutes to go. Please put 50 on these Ricky's Green Goblins. Two minutes to go as this one here between the Wallabies and the Springboks just meanders off into full time. Scrum down for the Wallabies on halfway. McDermott goes from the base of the ruck, almost intercepted by Jesse Creel, and he would have had Cheslin Colby in support, unmarked. And we have another yellow card. You are, of course, in rugby union, not allowed to deliberately knock the ball down. You have to be going for an intercept. You can't just knock the ball like that in rugby union. You've got to be clearly going for an intercept. You can't just slap a hand out there and knock the ball. And Jesse Creel sits down for the rest of the match. Penalty Wallabies. Wilson back to McDermott in the line out. 1 minute left. Can the Wallabies secure some more consolation points? He can head for the showers and steal all the hot water. Yes. Inside the 22. Wallabies in front of the post. Springboks still holding on to a bonus point. Cutout pass on the bounce to Wilson. Wilson brought down. A great legs tackle. Bobbling the ball in midfield. Well, not in midfield. They're still out towards that left-hand edge. And that's where they're staying. Valentini with quick hands to Pasami. And now Pasami loses the ball. And the Springboks clear it. Reinach with the kick upfield. And the Wallabies are forced back to halfway. And Tom Wright's brought down. Counter ruck is good here from the Springboks. They're all over the top of that. And they win the penalty. Tom Wright had no choice there but to hold on for dear life. And it was just a little too long. Time is up on the clock. What do the Springboks do here? Do they try and pile on more misery? I reckon they just tap. I reckon they tap and kick into touch. I honestly do. They've done enough. They've made enough of a statement. They don't care about my multi. Oh, they're putting it into touch. God bless them. They're gonna go for another try. But he fails to find the touch. Nomazulu failing to find touch with the penalty. And now the Wallabies stretch it wide to the left. Paisami plants it back. Wallabies still in possession. Wilson brought down Quick ruck play, and the Wallabies come up with a simple error. Knock-on advantage to the Springboks. Double knock-on call, and the referee says that will be it. Oh, I can't believe we were a Cheslin Colby try away from the multi. Just a Cheslin Colby try away. And South Africa, the Springboks, the world champions, the #1 team in the world, showing that they are potentially the team to beat here in the 2024 Rugby Championships. A truly dominant display at a ground where they haven't experienced too much joy. An unbelievable display. Their first 40 minutes, immaculate. The second half wasn't as good by any stretch of the imagination, but they still did more than enough to get the job done. They won both halves quite comfortably. Full time here. And the Wallabies have been absolutely crushed here at home. A wake-up call is putting it nicely. The Joe Schmidt regime has been thumped back to earth by the world champions. Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for your company here on this one. We will take a very quick break, and we'll get the next stream set up. All Blacks versus Argentina coming up right after this on the Wasted World of Sports. I'd like to say I'd hope for a better game, but I think it will be equally as one-sided. But we'll see. So, we're ending this stream, but stay with us. Wasted World of Sports, All Blacks, Argentina coming up. I'll set up a new stream for it, and you can catch us over there. Thank you so much for this one. South Africa, the world champions, the #1 team in the world. Way too good for the Wallabies. 33 points to 7. Absolute demolition job here at Suncorp Stadium. All Blacks, Argentina coming up right after this.